As we come on the air this morning, President Trump is over in Sicily in southern Italy. Here he is posing for a group picture with other world leaders. This image decidedly less controversial than the one from Thursday, where the president seemed to brush past the leader of Montenegro to get to the front of the pack there.
Yeah, he was trying to get in his position for that photograph. In a few hours, President Trump will board Air Force One and depart Italy. He's going to arrive back in Washington this evening after a whirlwind foreign trip that took him to 5 countries in 8 days.
And the president will come home to new developments in an ongoing FBI investigation into possible collusion between Russia and his campaign. That investigation now hitting close to home with key advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner under scrutiny. So much to cover this morning, and we begin with ABC's Cecilia Vega, who's over in Sicily traveling with the president. Cecilia, good morning to you.
A beautiful morning, guys, here in Sicily. The president and the White House are considering this first foreign trip abroad a total success. But when he heads back home to Washington tonight, he goes there with a full political crisis on his hands. This morning, President Trump is center stage in Sicily as he winds down his first trip abroad. But back home, the spotlight now is on his son-in-law advisor, Jared Kushner. U.S. intelligence officials intercepted communications of the Russian ambassador during the transition, who claimed that Kushner wanted to use secure Russian facilities as a back-channel way of talking to the Kremlin. Kushner wanted to discuss policy like strategy in Syria.
And he's very good at politics.
But sources tell ABC News Kushner's contacts with the Russians are a focus of the FBI's investigation into Moscow's election meddling. He is among the White House aides likely to be interviewed. He has not been accused of any wrongdoing.
And these are contacts that might have been totally innocent and benign.
But intelligence officials worry that Russians had a very specific plan to target those in Trump's orbit. ABC News has learned the president's sons, Eric and Don Jr., were summoned to an emergency session at the FBI's New York field office earlier this month. The reason? A warning that foreign hackers were trying to compromise Trump Organization computers. For now, all of this still a world away for the president, at least for a few more hours. Now, all of this controversy about Russia has the White House considering a change in strategy. We're told that when the president lands back in Washington, they're looking into a communications team shakeup, perhaps fewer press briefings. Dan and Paula, they are also now looking at creating a rapid response team to push back on all of these Russia allegations. They've got a lot of work on their hands when they touch back down in Washington later tonight, guys.
And Cecilia, great job reporting. Safe travels back. We're just going to go out on a limb and say that you haven't grown tired of that backdrop.
I'm going to stay here. Sorry, bye. Going on vacation.
No, please come back to D.C. All right, Cecilia, great job reporting and safe travels to you. Joining us now from Washington is ABC News contributor Alex Castellanos. Alex is a Republican strategist and a Trump supporter. Okay, Alex, let's get right to the news of the day. Isn't there reason to be skeptical of this unconfirmed report proposing a secret channel of communications? After all, Russians are known for conducting miscommunication campaigns, and the Russian ambassador was discussing this matter on a channel, Alex, that he would have reason to believe might be monitored by the U.S.
Well, that's one of the many strange things about this story. It's a little bit like standing on the corner with a bullhorn saying, we need to have a secret meeting. It's not what you do. You don't use the very communications you think are compromised to set up an alternative. So that is strange. Now, why would this have happened? There may be a serious explanation, but there may be an innocent one, too. And that is that the Trump campaign and transition were concerned that everything that might have been picked up by other intelligence matters was being leaked by the Obama administration, was being leaked to the press, and would undermine transition efforts. And it turns out they were right.
Alex, but let's put today's story in context, though. If you consider this new information in light of what we already know, that Donald Trump has consistently praised the Russians while criticizing our allies, that his advisors have gotten into hot water for failing to report meetings with the Russians, that there are reports that the president allegedly demanded a loyalty oath from the FBI director who was investigating Russia, and that the president admitted that Russia was on his mind when he fired James Comey. When you take all that together, are Trump's critics wrong when they say that there appears to be some smoke here?
Well, I think there appears to be some smoke, certainly, but there also appears to be some ice. Remember, this is also the president who sent 59 Tomahawk missiles to Russian-supported military installations in Syria. Putin didn't like that. This is also the president, by the way, who's expanded NATO's presence on the Eastern Front in Europe against Russian interest. So, and by the way, there's an American battalion there now. So there's both smoke and there's ice here. Donald Trump's style, we've learned, uses two hands. You know, part of it is an embrace, part of it is a threat. It's a hug and a hammer. We see this with Donald Trump all the time.
Alex Castellanos, thank you very much for your analysis on this Saturday morning. We really appreciate it, and happy holiday weekend to you.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay.